Monsieur le Président de l'Autorité de Régulation.
Mr. President of the Regulation Organization, Mr. the Principal Advisor of the Telecom Minister, dear partners, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to welcome you here today on behalf of ISPA-DRC and ISOC to this closing ceremony to award certificates and launch officially GOMIX. We are here for an hour. I can remind you that ISPA is evidence that Congolese people and companies working in RDC can work together to create a structure that contributes to the improvement of our sector. And that is how GOMIX for Kinshasa was launched, then Lubix, and today GOMIX is being launched. We are going to attend a ceremony with our colleagues online. We will start with a video document, then there will be a few speeches, and finally we will award the certificates to those who have attended the training. So first of all, we will look at the video that Gila is going to post for us now. Guylain?
Quand vous utilisez Internet,
when you use Internet, what happens? Whether you're online to chat with a friend, send emails, order a book, check the weather, watch a film, or study the Peloponnesian War, it's as if there was only one thread to what you're looking for. Yet 1 billion people are connecting to 1 billion items at the same time. How does it work then? Well, it works by agreement. Imagine that it's a game. A game can only work if there are rules respected, or there's no game. If you invite two computers to play together, you have a network. If your friend does the same, there's another network. And if you agree that your networks are going to work in the same way, then you can interconnect them and you have Internet. The rules followed are called the Internet Protocol. As long as it's respected, as many networks can be added as wanted until the whole world is connected. That's what Internet represents, a network of networks that share each other. Each device has its own IP address. Everything you send is only a message from one device to another, but it doesn't move as a block. It's broken down. This message is broken down into minute data packages with information about where it is, its provenance and destination. So in this way, a message can take various routes to reach its destination. Because the same Internet protocol is followed, the receptor device knows how to decode the message. The strength of Internet is that it's decentralized and there is no single point of failure. If a route is overloaded, then the data will take a different route. Even if it's a major crash, there will always be an alternative route. But if you use a provider and your friend uses a different provider, what happens? A few companies have established private connections to exchange traffic. But more and more traffic goes through shared platforms called IXPs. An IXP is an infrastructure where many organizations can interconnect. They can be ISPs, content providers, publishing houses, social media sites, telecom operators. Any organization that relies on traffic can benefit from an IXP. By using the same infrastructure, they manage to lower costs and be more efficient. Traditionally, the providers were selling each other access to their respective networks, but for many, this process involved more management than desired. So many understood that by finding a happy medium, they could reduce their costs and improve their efficiency. The providers, thanks to one single connection, can exchange with many participants. This process is called peering, and it means that the internet is faster and more affordable. The participants reach agreements for mutual benefit. And in this way, peering tends to self-regulate. You could think that companies abandon their services in a way, but in fact, they each bring their part to the solutions that their customers are looking for to be efficient. The internet is open, decentralized, and completely neutral. Its strengths comes from the periphery and not from the heart of the system. Not one organization monitors the system, and that's why it works so well. By accepting to cooperate, we all contribute to internet, and that's how the internet works.
Merci.
Thank you. Very interesting video that describes what we're trying to do here together. So first of all, I would like to invite Laurent Ntumba to give a speech. He's the president of ISPA-DRC.
Monsieur le Président,
Mr. President of the Regulation Authority, Mr. Principal Advisor to the Minister in charge of Telecommunications and ICT, board members of ISPA-DRC, and directors of the various organizations that are members of ISPA-DRC, dear guests, I would like to welcome you all to this brief ceremony dedicated to the closure of a project that started nearly 10 years ago. At the time, we wanted to create an IXP thanks to partners who had been in the sector for a long time. The project has evolved over time. And as ISPA-DRC, we already launched in 2012 GOMIX in Kinshasa. it evolved slowly, because as you could see in the video, document agreements have to be reached in order to exchange, and it was complex to begin with. But now we also have, it has evolved over time, and we now have also Lumbix, and today we are in Goma for the launch of GOMIX. I could say at last we've reached the end of our project, but in fact, I can't say that, because each time we've established an infrastructure, then we have had to also follow up with training to ensure the future of the system. And as far as the future is concerned, ISPA-DRC has put together a model which has now become a model over the whole continent, because it's quite a performance to have established one, then two, then three. And I think that this is recognized by the various organizations on the continent. And we can already foresee that there will be other IXPs in future. The advantage of this system is that we really set out to create a neutral structure where the ecosystem, all operators, all participants could give their opinion about the establishment. And there really was a patriotic impetus among us at the start, so that resources were provided to act on the basis of this impetus. It started in a very small room of a square meter room, but it's this impetus at the start that allowed us to gather all our efforts and put aside our differences and the competitive element. And we hope that the young people who are being trained here in Goma will continue this work, so that our communities can benefit from what is our internet, because we had the opportunity to create it and to exchange. I also have to say to you that ISPA-DRC is a non-profit organization. It is not a company that trades in anything. Thanks to the entire community, we want to make available to our communities the infrastructures, so that in order to make life easier for them. ISPA-DRC is made up of members. Before mentioning them, I have the honor to preside this association today, and I would like to really commend the management committee today. as well as the operation management team. Monsieur Jean-Claude Minuquier is the vice president. And Professor Pierre Casaliega, who is also a member of the committee and a friend. And the working team, if I may call it that, when we came to Goma, so I want to mention Mr. Tintu Nico, who is part of the working team recruited here in Goma. And behind that, there's a whole organization. But in Kinshasa, it's made up of a very few people. It's only 3. Plus the technical committee encompassing all operators, technicians. So it's an aggregate of engineers, which means that when we get together, we can always find a solution to technical problems. The members I haven't mentioned yet are our network administrator, Monsieur Daniel Allon, who is in the room here today. And Daniel has taken part in a training session, IPv4 training session, because we also have training sessions on specific resources and technologies. And he is now himself a trainer recognized over the whole continent and able to train the local communities. And the training that's just taken place in Goma has been done with local resources. He is from the Skisco Academy in Kinshasa. We want to have such academies and schools everywhere, because the more we master the technology, the more we'll be able to move forward. And for me, it is particularly pleasing. I remember the Dean Dalerien, because I remember him because he always used to say we have to have ownership of the technology, and now that we have put all this together ourselves is really an achievement. So who are the members of ISPA? DRC, the organization represented by the person I've just mentioned. There's also Vodacom, represented by Jean-Claude Mobilou, who is also here. The trade director of Vodacom is Avricel, is also, I think, going to be represented. There's Orange. I don't know if there's a representative of Orange in the room. We have Telecom, Mikoko, Chebez, represented by Afridix, Stands United, Orientcom, Comtech, et ainsi de suite. So as you can see, we have many partners, and as ISPA, our objectives are to promote the cooperation between the various operators, to participate in the main fora in the sector, in the world, so that we can learn more. And also, I would like to thank the representative of our regulator. We are very grateful to you for making the time to attend. I'd like also to thank the main advisor of the telecom minister, First Minister. So thank you very much also for attending this event. So capacity building, that's the young people who've been trained. You haven't been trained for yourselves only, because we think that if you have been trained, you will be able to train others. We want to create a synergy so that RDC be a resource, a main resource for the continent in terms of capacity building. And I think we're going to be able to move forward in this way. All this was made possible because we have partners, because there are advantages to an IXP. If there is a cache connected, then it gives access to other data. And we now have the platform in Goma. So and we have partners, ISOC, the Internet Society, that has really helped us and accompanied us all the way. And I would like to here recognize this and thank its representative. We are also a member of the European Association of IXPs, and we also have other partners, Afrinic, because we have to have access to resources. Of course, we need an IS, what's called an IS number. We need to know all the rules. We need to follow the standards, the rules, as we were told in the video. And if the rules are followed, then we can move forward fast. So we are now able to exchange data thanks to the IXP. It also promotes content production, and we need to be shadowed, to be accompanied by a number of organizations, and what has been done is certainly a model now for the rest of the continent, and others will say it, I'm sure. For the internet to develop further, we need incentives to develop connectivity. We really need some taxes to be abolished. Some are really no use for anything. And in a way, we need in the east where we are, there are many clandestine operators in our city. There is a multiplication of clandestine, illegal operators. We need strict regulation, therefore. And we will always be with you to help you and to make sure that things are better, because we have resources, we have people, we have systems in our country, so there's no reason why we can't develop. So yet again, I'd like to thank you for your attendance at this event. This specialized event, and we would like to thank the president of the regulation authority, which is sponsoring this event. Thank you very much. Thank you, President. We are now going to have the speech by the ISOC representative online. Yes, okay, Mr. Michuki is going to speak on behalf of ISOC as the representative of ISOC. So, Mr. Michuki, I hand over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Xavier. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michuki Mwangi. I would like to recognize the presence of the principal advisor to the minister in charge of telecommunications, the president of ARPTC, the chairman of ISPA-DRC, Mr. Laurent Ntumba, board members of ISPA-DRC, executives and representatives from various stakeholders in DRC, colleagues and partner organizations, ladies and gentlemen, good morning or good day. We at the Internet Society remain committed to support the development of IXP infrastructure in Africa and the DRC. The Internet Society has collaborated with ISPA-DRC for the last 10 years. In fact, we are looking at this milestone as a decade of partnership, or as a culmination of a decade of partnerships. It started with a technical workshop, and which resulted in the setup and the connection of the first networks at GOMIX in Kinshasa in 2012. We continue to collaborate, and in 2017, we organized a peering roadshow in Kinshasa to increase the awareness and the role of stakeholders in developing the peering ecosystem in DRC. We continue to work with the team in DRC, getting them to various events across the continent, be it the African Peering and Interconnection Forum or the African Internet Summit, and many others. And in 2019, we collaborated again with ISPA-DRC and with support from Facebook to set up and commission the Lubumbashi IXP or LUBIX. I'm glad to have been there present during the launch, and I am saddened that I'm not actually able to be there this time, but look forward to an opportunity when we'll be able to visit the facility in Goma. And during this period, we've also been able to, behind the scenes, provide the technical support and equipment needed to get both GOMIX and LUBIX not just operational, but upgraded as the demand has needed. And at the same time, we continue to provide all the necessary support that will be needed going forward to help GOMIX to grow and become as impactful as the other two IXPs. At the Internet Society, we focus a lot on building strong and resilient technical communities so that we have an open, globally connected, secure, and trustworthy internet. The ISPA-DRC community is among the strongest in the region. And I say this with full conviction because they've been able to accomplish a lot. And I would like to take this opportunity to commend the leadership of ISPA-DRC, the local technical community, for their dedication and focus, which has resulted in the commissioning of the new IXP in Goma. And this has been done despite the ongoing global challenges and a number of other challenges that we've seen. As we all know, internet exchange points can bring faster, cheaper, and better connectivity. We are pleased to see how the ISPA-DRC and the internet community in DRC have embraced the spirit of collaboration in partnership with both global internet organizations and also local stakeholders to advance the internet ecosystem in the country. We're particularly proud about the impact that the two existing IXPs in Kinshasa and Lubumbashi are having on the local community and the entire digital ecosystem in DRC. It will be remiss of me to not mention the efforts that have gone behind the scenes. Most of you may not know this, but if you go back the entire history of DRC and IXP development, it's been facing quite a number of challenges. There's a time when the GOMIX facility where it was located in Kinshasa burned down. And within a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, the GOMIX had come up in a new location, better location, well-connected, well-powered, and continue to serve the community. All this took place because the stakeholders came together and made that a reality. Lubumbashi had quite a number of challenges with facility, with power, etc. And the community came together to make it a reality. Goma has had its recent fair share of challenges. It was recent when we had the volcano eruption. There were a couple, and that confounded with the pandemic. And still the community made all of this come together and be realized today because they were able to work through all these challenges, making sure that they provided all the resources that were needed to build this facility. So as a result, and what we are seeing is that ISPA-DRC and DRC as a whole is emerging as a clear leader on internet matters in the Central African region. And one of the things that we really take note of is that now DRC is the first and only country in the sub-region to have 3 IXPs in the country and joins other regional giants like Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, and Tanzania that have more than 2 IXPs in the country. ISPA-DRC has also been actively engaged at strategic regional events such as the African IXP Association meeting, the African Peering and Interconnection Forum, and also have hosted the AIS event virtually in 2021. And a lot of these regional and international engagements have actually positioned DRC as a critical and important market. And this is actually attracting important investments from both local, regional, and international stakeholders that are really helping DRC to make significant strides in developing its internet ecosystem. At this juncture, I would like to take an opportunity to thank our partners. Specifically, I would like to mention Facebook for their ongoing collaboration on IXP development, which has enabled us to support all the 3 IXPs, GOMIX, LUBIX, and GOMIX over the last 4 years with technical support, equipment donation, and training. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the end, and I think Mr. Laurent mentioned that in his opening remarks, that there is a next phase that's coming forward. And I like to put that on the table, that the next phase of development will be trying to achieve the vision 80-20, which is a goal which looks at trying to ensure that 80% of all the internet consumed in DRC is accessible locally, and only 20% of that is sourced or brought from outside the country. Now, we recently undertook a study and our most recent one, which was launched in July, and it's titled Moving Towards an Interconnected Africa, the 80-20 Initiative. And in that study, we took a deep analysis of DRC, and it shows that in that report that operators aggregate are able to save an aggregate of about $4.6 million US per year on IP transit because of the existence of the two IXPs, that is GOMIX and LUBIX, which translates to an equivalent of about 200,000 per year for each network that is connected to these two exchange points. We believe that the launch of GOMIX or Goma in Goma will only increase the benefits that the operators and networks have been able to achieve from the current being connected from the existing two exchange points. In addition to that, the report offers some recommendations to DRC on how it can improve on its policy, capacity building, and the IXP services. We hope that the local technical community will consider these country-specific recommendations and the general growth enablers that were shared in the report to realize the full potential of the internet ecosystem in the country. I will invite you to take a look at this report, which is also available in French, and really look forward to the continued collaboration that we have with the community in DRC. I'd like to conclude by thanking everyone and the team that has been involved, not forgetting to mention the technical team, Nico, and everyone else for all their efforts to make this, the setup and launch of the Goma IXP a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Michuki. Thank you to ISOC. As you can see, it's a significant achievement for DRC to have a third IXP. We're the only country to have achieved this, and I think it's worth celebrating. I would also like to thank all our partners. Now, we're going to pass the floor to the Facebook representative.
Who's with us virtually here today. We look after the Facebook Edge strategy in Sub-Saharan Africa, so obviously that includes the DRC. We're excited and we're honoured to continue our support of IXPs in the DRC and to be part of the Goma IXP launch. And whilst we can't unfortunately be there in person today, we'll look forward to being back in the DRC in the future and meet all of you in person and see the great infrastructure that's been built. We never stop being amazed by the dedication of the ISPA team, the ISPA leadership, and the local technical community for being able to push forwards with these projects in the challenging times, both locally in Goma and further afield. And so even prouder to be supporting and connecting to the IXP. Community-led regional IXPs are key to our strategy in Sub-Saharan Africa and in the DRC. And it allows us to continue to bring the Facebook product family closer to the people using our products and gives us an opportunity to partner with ISPs, MNOs, and people in the local community and local industry and grow the ecosystem further. Leaves us to say thanks to everyone, thanks to ISPA leadership, the in-country technical teams, and congratulations on the launch. Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Et donc, vous voyez...
Thank you. As you can see, Facebook as a company, as a business, is experiencing a real development in DRC thanks to these IXPs. So it's a pleasure to have representatives of the regulator and government. I don't think we've had the pleasure of welcoming you yet, so it's a real pleasure and a real honor, and I would really like to celebrate and praise the presence of our regulator representative and Prime Minister representative. I would now like to invite the principal advisor for the Prime Minister in charge of telecommunication and ICTs, Mr. Tony Mulongo. Please take the floor.
Monsieur le Président de l'ARPTC.
Dear President, esteemed guests, members of the training, hello. It's a real honor to have been invited to this ceremony, and we would like to thank the organizers. It's a real honor to be here. The Prime Minister, head of government, stated in his investiture speech that he wanted to focus on communication technologies and ICTs, because for him, these are at the heart of development. They're at the heart of resolutions identified by the Prime Minister, and His Excellency wants to prioritize this theme and wants to support any initiative that facilitates the transmission of knowledge and to support capacity building. It's constantly evolving and developing. And to achieve these objectives, the Prime Minister needs, first and foremost, to see synergies, collaboration between state that we represent and the industry, so that we can achieve these objectives together and see concrete success. For instance, the development of an IXP, because it enables better internet access and cost benefits, has cost benefits. It will have a direct impact on internet users in the area, and it's also opening opportunities for CDNs. Therefore, we would like to seize this opportunity to praise ISPA-DRC, who have managed to bring together key stakeholders, and it's an achievement considering the work needed to set up these agreements. So following GOMIX and GOMIX, it's a pleasure to celebrate the launch of GOMIX. You can all be extremely proud of this achievement, and I would like to praise you for your work. What we really want to see is that thanks to this IXP and the training, we see more development. This is key, and we believe that this is really crucial to see more initiatives thrive. So thank you very much. It is my first visit to Goma, and I would like to thank you for this wonderful welcome. So my pleasure, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As the principal advisor has stated, we are in the process of launching GOMIX. It was a dream not long ago. It's now a reality. Between GOMIX and GOMIX, there was quite a few years, but there was a much shorter time span between GOMIX and GOMIX, and thanks to the partnership we have in place, we can continue to progress even faster. I would now like to welcome the president of the ARPTC. What I can tell you is that he's one of us. He's a member of our sector or industry, and he's also made it possible for us to feel that we were being hunted. We are not praised being hunted anymore. He's made us feel that we are partners, and we've always been treated very respectfully and very kindly by the president of the ARPTC, Mr. Christian Katende. Dear Principal Advisor to the Prime Minister, Mr. President of the ISPA-DRC, ISOC Director General, representatives of telecommunication operators, guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a real pleasure and an honor to be with you here today for the launch of Goma's IXP, named GOMIX. It's an initiative launched by ISPA-DRC and has been achieved for the benefit of the local population. We are very pleased to support this exchange point. It's one of the free IXPs of DRC, and it's crucial for the development of internet in our country. IXPs are crucial to optimize costs and to improve internet provision. An IXP is really a cornerstone in terms of development. It enables a more optimal access to internet. And before we set up GOMIX, there was no interconnection between local operators. So they had to transit through foreign providers. And it was complex as well for anyone who wanted to access a content provider site. So the rerouting was complex. But now, with the local interconnection for internet providers, they can share internet, they can share their networks. And it means that the exchange of traffic won't need to go through foreign providers. It will have a very positive impact. It will make traffic in Congo, internet traffic in Congo much faster, much more reliable. And that's why an IXP will be essential for the transit and hosting of local content. Developing this IXP goes hand in hand with the development of ISPs, and that's significant. And it will see an increase in internet traffic. That's key for public spaces, for universities, and we're supporting this through the promotion of internet and internet infrastructures. We are going to hold over 100 events to raise awareness, and it will be beneficial for Goma and the region. It will enable us to bridge the internet gap and foster development. And we're very proud that DRC is one of the very few African countries to proudly have 3 IXPs. And I would encourage you all to make the most of this infrastructure and join these IXPs. And I would like to praise the work of DRC IXP, because they have been instrumental in the development of the 3 IXPs, namely GOMIX in 2012, LUBIX in 2017, and now GOMIX. It's testament to the skills we have, and it lays the groundwork for future IXPs. The drive comes from the head of state, and he wants to interconnect the whole country quickly to fully embrace communication society. So we need to have strongly connected networks which are easily accessible and serving the needs of the whole population. One of the points mentioned by the president of ISPA was the role of internet providers, clandestine, illegal internet providers. We want to tackle this problem. We want to clamp down on illegal provision. And soon we will make it possible to all stakeholders to have access to information regarding legal operators. It will be very easy to search for legal operators for our website, and there will be a database listing who is an official ISP and who is not. Similarly, when we're looking at the existence of an IXP, you mentioned that regulators were not necessarily actively involved in the launch of this IXP. But I would like to remind you that my first presentation as Vice President for the launch of IXP, I can't remember the exact location, and I was very interested from the early onset in this type of projects. I exchanged with Michuki, for instance, and I am delighted to see that this project, which was a long-term project, has come to fruition. And that's thanks to operators and to all the stakeholders. So it is a success. I do indeed come from this industry. I've been involved in it for many years, and I think that it's time that we highlight what drives the sector forward. So I am delighted to officially declare that the 3rd IXP of the Democratic Republic of Congo, GOMIX, is open. We now ask the President to award the first certificates to the beneficiaries of the awards, and we're going to call the recipients to the stage one by one to be awarded their training certificate. Mr. Deokambale will follow Mr. Augustin. Ms. Ruth Mulumba. Ms. Ruth Mulumba. Then Mr. Fazili Gabidou Eli. Mr. Eli Shamamba. Vasily Kabido. Elisha Mamba. Thank you very much, President. We won't take up more of your time. I would like to ask the principal advisor's patience and see if he would mind handing out awards to Adrian Sangano in absentia, Mr. David Mayetumba. He will be followed by Mr. Luke Msiri. Luke Msiri is not here. Mr. Tsi Mwamba. Followed by Amoni Kapongo. Morgan Keiko. Josué Isamona Kambo. Thank you, Mr. Principal Advisor. I would like to invite the Honorary President of ISPA-DRC, Jean de Dieu Konzi. Zikongo Kambwe. Jean-Paul Okosa. Tembo Toko Bravo. Daniel Boas Jr. Justin Manin Zonga. Mukaba Adolphe. Thank you, President. Last but not least, I would like to invite our President, Mr. Laurent Ntumba, who's always looking towards the future. Accompanied by his Vice President, who's currently injured. Chef Ntumba. Kimbasa Wisa Ala. Otunda Alubinde Patrick. Alain Katanga Wamba. Gerard Malundu. Unfortunately, the other recipients are not present in the room. I don't think I've forgotten anyone present in the room. And I'd like to invite you to applaud all these recipients. President Laurent Ntumba is going to close this demonstration, and there will be a cocktail following this closing remarks. Thank you very much to all of you. I would invite you to applaud yourselves, because you are all key contributors in a new, unknown and exciting launch, and we want to make this unknown entity known. I've forgotten to mention a few names, I'm sorry. I don't know if Ben is still here. Ben? Well, I would like to take this opportunity. Oh.
Bonjour.
Ben, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Partner, we count on you, and I ask you to greet Mr. Andrew, who is not there today, and if it's possible after COVID, you're welcome in Goma, because it's a very good place. Thank you very much again.
Thank you for the kind words. We're happy to continue our support, and as soon as we can get to Goma, we'd love to take you up on your invitation and come and see the city and come and see the IXP.
Merci beaucoup, Ben. Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Ben. This brings us to the end of today's ceremony. As the president of ISPA-DRC, GOMIX is live online, and we would like to invite you to make this tool your own and to make it known, so that people come and get content from Goma, because it's now possible. We would like to thank the authorities that supported us, the management committee from ISPA for their collaboration, their support. We're going to continue to work with your support. Once again, thank you, and enjoy yourselves in Goma. Just one issue of protocol. We conclude with a picture. First, we'll have all the officials represented at the ceremony, then we'll invite the members of the executive committee of ISPA, and then all the people who have received the training and that were awarded their certificates today. Thank you very much, President, Principal Advisor. Please come to the stand. And thanks again.
Solo tosekala kina mosolo ya mboka Congo.